Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching and listening to another edition of Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media on all of our channels and networks. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Mike Morales in Southern California, in the heartbeat of the San Gabriel Valley. That guy down there is
Rick Levy, also in Southern California at the foot of the San Pasqual Valley.
at the tail end. Okay.
The tail end.
Rick and I are going to be tasting and dissecting a brand new tequila on the market that was actually they contacted us. We've never seen it. It's called Sergio Revell. I don't even know who Sergio is. We did not get a whole lot of information on them, but we do know the distillery. We do know it's a Blanco only for starters. We just broke the seal. Oh, look at the bubbles, man. I got bubbles on this thing.
Yeah.
I got some, I have, wow, look at that, lingering bubbles. They got some shampoo bubbles on that. Wow. Okay. I got some great hopes for this Blanco, and I'll explain why. I won't go in too much depth, but oh, hey, that's great. Okay, be aware, folks, that your knob is going to come off.
Uh-oh.
Come off. Hey, that's great. Oh, geez, you've learned to pull out. That's awesome.
I have an excellent pull-out strategy.
Yeah, I bet you do. Not me, pal. It just never fails. And these bottles have been on my living room floor for a while. I don't. Bear with me. I'm gonna go get my knife, and I'm just gonna not spend 20 minutes screwing around with this cork. Always carry.
I have mine back on the shelf. I just took the plastic off the seal. So
yeah, well,
let's see how it opens up.
Yeah,
smelling great so far.
Yeah, well, like I say, I have a lot of, so be aware, folks. This will happen to you, or can happen to you, may happen to you, and it does. It happens. It happens every so often. And in fact, with all the tequilas that we do taste, it's not uncommon that every once in a while the knob comes off. So here we go.
Yeah.
I'm going to
keep a whole bucket of extra corks.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
To swap one out.
I keep a few around. It's always good to keep a few around because if you don't want to be screwing around with a knob that comes off. So we're using
the Jarrito.
Oh, look at that, lingering bubbles. Can you see that on my camera? That's a thing of beauty. That's gorgeous. Wow.
Really clear. Nice.
I'm impressed.
Let's see how she hangs.
Yeah, yes. That's what he said. to quote a phrase.
Oh. Got a couple of nice legs developing here.
Wow, I've got some bubbles that will not quit. And again, folks, if you've watched this long enough, I enjoy watching for bubbles. Again, not an indicator of taste or even quality, but it is a good sign. Oh, nice legs and tears too, Rick.
Yeah, look at all those.
Wow. And again, it's pristine. It's shiny, as Alex and I like to call it. It's a little shiny. So, and you can see it better, very much better on Rick's camera.
Yeah, this is really pretty the way it's hanging.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. Wow, that's a cover shot, man.
Yeah. So
you smell the cork. What did you get on the nose, on the cork on the bottle? Because while I was struggling with my cork, you were nosing the bottle. What did you get?
Well, if I understand, this distillery tends to use a mix of Highlands and Lowlands agave, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm getting a mixture of that, really. You're getting a broad range of fruitiness and herbal.
And also, according to their website, the Sergio Revell does have a website. They're baking in stone ovens in mamposteria. So I noticed on one side I got bright notes on this side, and on my other side I got more of the baking notes. The deeper, more the baked agave notes as opposed to the brighter notes on the fruitier and the floral notes.
Mhm.
And it's to be expected. Yeah, these are very deep notes on this side. Wow, that's really nice. And it opens up very quickly.
It's a little bit of mint or anise.
I thought I got some of that. I was going to say something, but it was very fleeting, so I wasn't real sure, but I guess it's coming up now. Wow, and it's almost it's much sweeter on in the middle than I thought it would be. That's kind of an unusual sweetness. And frequently, folks, you will see us tilt from left to right and right to left and in the middle, and that's a whole brain thing that I go into when we do tequila teaching and tasting techniques. It's a very valid technique. So,
Well, kind of the same way you want to sort of roll it around on the palate. We want to sort of roll it around up in the olfactory as well.
well, the closest the closest sense to your taste buds is smell, and that's why you'll see me with my mouth open, inhaling. Sometimes shortly, like it looks like I'm panting like a dog, but I'm not really. And you can literally taste this before you ingest it, so it gives you a really good idea of what to expect. Although Rick and I have had several tequilas where the nose is one thing, and then the flavor profile completely baffles you because it's a whole other,
Yeah.
we love those surprises unless there's something weird going on, but those are few and far between. So are you getting anything else?
Well, I feel like I could, sit here and really spend a lot of time analyzing it, pick out, different citrus qualities and maybe different green vegetal qualities. But generally it's a really nice mix across the board. I can't wait to jump in.
I'm really impressed. This is a great nose, and it is worth spending a little bit more time and seeing what you pull out. I mean, we could go. Generally speaking, when we'll talk about Highlands, we'll get lime zest, lemon zest. I'm not getting orange so much as lime and lemon, which is good. I would rather stick to that. Floral, not so much floral as fruity for me.
Right. Yeah, I'm not getting like any sort of blossom notes or anything like that.
It's the middle of spring here in Southern California. We've had some great rain, and everything is in bloom. I walk into my backyard, I've got lemon blossoms wafting at me. I've got the jasmine coming at me from one direction, so and it's great if you do stuff like this, because you want to go out and smell these. I have orange trees that are surrounding me, so I got whatever the breeze picks up, and whatever the bees are pollinating, and the bees are happy right now. So it's really a great time to be out in your yard and just smell the roses, because you'll get if this is done correctly, if the tequilas are done correctly and they're fermented correctly, you get a lot of the same influences that you'll get in your springtime backyard. So you want to dive in?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Let's go.
Mm. I don't normally put too much stock in my first pass.
Right, because you're priming the palate at that point. It's the second one that.
Yeah, the second one. But I'll tell you what, sometimes the first one there are tendencies to turn people off. They're not used to the aggressiveness or the pepperiness that you get on your lip and your gum. I mean, primarily we're trying to feel things out first. And to be honest, I know you folks probably don't want to hear about what my oral hygiene's like, but I do cleanse my palate with vodka. We do a lot of that, or water, plenty of water. And so the second pass, as Rick mentioned, once your palate is primed, then the second one will give you a little bit more of what characteristics to look for.
So for the broad range of aromas that I'm getting from, like the vegetal and herbal to the fruity, it's I'm not getting as much of that sort of sweeter, fruitier end of the spectrum on the palate. It is big, it leans big into the white pepper
Yes.
on the palate. It's a big presence. The viscosity is really nice. So the legs and tears, it follows through on the palate. It doesn't coat it, but it has just sort of a nice chew to it a little bit.
Yeah, it is. It's a little bit chewy. Yeah, which is good. It's funny because I thought I was the only one that ever said that. It feels chewy. It feels beefy. But it's not. I've had other ones that are beefier, but this one still maintains a little bit of the lightness that we got in the aroma. But you're right. It's a lot spicy and peppery. The lip and gum numbness is right on. That's what you want. Yeah. You want that.
Yeah, and then it sort of takes you into the baked agave after the pepper.
Yeah. How's your finish, by the way?
I'm thinking it's probably on the shorter end, mid to short.
Mine's like short to medium, I think. It doesn't go all the way down. It's not that warm fuzzy. We get it with a mezcal, for instance, where it just lingers all the way down. This one kind of stays like right here in the chest area to the throat. And
yeah, it's lingering on the back of the palate for a little bit, but yeah, I'm not getting a lot of stuff on the way down.
The sweetness stays with you even to the rear of the palate. And again, this is not an artificial sweetness. This is coming from the plant itself. I turned purple. Hey, that's great. Not sure why that is, folks. Just bear with me. We're going to go through. This is my Prince. This is the one that I use for Prince.
This is 8-bit Mike.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, folks. I have no idea why that happens and why it's happening to me. But anyway, just bear with me. Hopefully it'll clear up. I'm not sure why that happens. But anyway, it's pretty consistent from the nose, I think, to the palate, to the finish. Cocktails. You're the cocktail guy. This would go great with a cocktail?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you could do lots of stuff. You could mix this in all kinds of things. It's it's a great representation of tequila, but it's not it's not leaning so deep into any one characteristic that it's really tailored to sort of a niche mix, right?
No, it's in fact, I was going to say it's pretty balanced. It's pretty straightforward. It's balanced. I think with flavor and aroma. Sorry, this is not clearing up. I'm sorry, folks. I have no idea why this is, but you know what? We're gonna soldier on. I could turn off my camera and start it over again, but I'm not gonna. Just stick it out, okay, folks? I love the fact that there are lingering bubbles on this thing, even after this is still our first pour. And there are some bubbles that just will form and not go away.
Between that and the legs and tears, I'm wondering just, how close to proof is it coming out of the still? Are they distilling it very close to proof so that they don't have to add water afterwards, and that could help maintain this viscosity that we're getting?
Could be. Let me give you the ins and outs on the from the label here. Okay, so it is 1480. It is considered kosher. It's
not 1480, 1438, right?
1438. I'm sorry. It is kosher, and that's interesting. Bottled in Mexico, imported by Sergio Revell. The information that we have, it is coming from distillery 1438. That is Destilería del Valle del Tequila, which is considered a substantial maquiladora. They have several tequilas coming out of there that are really I mean, it's like La Cofradia. They got some really great brands coming out of it. One that I'm going to have tomorrow, Cape Horn, which I haven't tasted yet. Celaya we had this year. We've had Tesla comes out of that distillery. Osadia or Osadia. I think you and I had that, I believe. There are several tequilas that are coming out of here, as well as Casa Maestri, El Jefe. We've had there 21 Seeds, which has now been bought. Let's see. Anyway, there's several Blowfish we've had. Yeah, lots of tequila. 6 Degrees I haven't had. Ghost Tequila comes out of there. Ghost has been a great brand.
Yeah,
Siempre.
I love that Ghost.
Yeah,
Siempre
is another one. So you've got some big brands coming out of there. Some wonderful brands. Sergio Revell, so far as we know, only makes a Blanco. Rick, their website, I'm not sure if you've been on the website at all, but their website says that, okay, we purchase only agaves that are 8 to 12 years old. Okay. Some of this stuff is, you know.
I would think if you want a 12-year-old agave, you got to grow that bastard yourself.
Well, yeah, because there are very few. Why would you grow a 12-year-old and not use it for your own tequilas? Because this is Casa Maestri,
right?
The distillery. And if I'm going to grow 8 to 12-year-olds, I'm using them in my tequila. Okay. But that's what they're saying on their website. They are cooking methods of stone ovens. And they cook their agaves between 24 and 48 hours. The molinos, the shredders, crush the agave and extract all the juices and sugars, which then goes into fermentation. Once we ferment, we let it sit for 48 to 72 hours. We ferment our tequilas in 33,000 liter stainless steel tanks. So again, that's a big distillery. Double distilled and later chill treated processes for our tequila. There's that chill treatment. Chill. Okay.
Yeah.
Do they show them Netflix too? I don't know. The technique assures that the tequila does not get cloudy in extreme temperatures. Oh, really? That's what that's for. Okay. Chill treated tequila goes through an oxygenation process. Okay, and I'll buy that. Oxygenation is very popular with some tequilas coming out of the agave, tequila Valle. They'll Valle, like a Matitan, that area there. Some brands will use that system. Other than that, that's all I got. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't even. I'm not having luck right now getting the website to load, and I don't have a price. I can't find a price point on this. Do you have any information?
I don't. I know that they are being imported by a company in Lawrenceville, Georgia, and they did reach out to us. So I say it was fairly new. Lawrenceville, Georgia. That's where I think the name of the company is Brown LLC. Sorry about the look on the purple there, folks, but that's what I got to work with here. It's Sergio Revell. There you go. Lawrenceville, Georgia. It is kosher, 1438, and it's 80 proof. So there you go. You know what, Rick? I'd say Brand of Promise nominee, man.
Yeah, it's a solid Blanco.
That's a solid Blanco. You can drink it all day long. I would say spend more time with it. Great in a cocktail. Just off the top of my head, I would say, even in one of those ranch waters, because it's got enough. It's the flavor profile is bold enough that you could splash a soda and maybe a lime or lemon twist and go out to your backyard and smell the aromas in your backyard. Because you'll be able to get it off of this Blanco for sure.
Yep. Wow. And I would use this in my Palomas, which aren't that far off from the ranch water you described. Mm-hmm. I'll use a few light fruit juices and some carbonated water and throw it together, and it's a nice, bright, refreshing beverage. Yeah. Again, it's springtime right now here, but here comes summer. And if you're sick and tired of the RTDs, which are going to be coming
shortly to sipping off the cuff, a whole ton, a ton load of RTD that we have to get to. So if you're tired of the RTD and you just want something light, I think, but again, this is a bold enough tequila that, you could, don't be afraid to put it in a cocktail. I'd say, Rick, if you're going to do something like that, you could, I know you do stuff with prickly pear and seasonal, I think a seasonal fruit that comes out. I think it, like you said, it would stand up to anything you do to it. So, So anyway,
the lemons are hitting ripeness right now, right?
Yep. Yeah. Well,
Have you
the
got
new
them in your
batch is coming
backyard?
in. I still have lemons from this is a huge lemon and orange tree that we have in our backyard. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm threatening you. When I come down to see you, I'm bringing you a bag of lemons, and the lemons are like this big. I'm telling you, I'm not lying to you. Yeah. Or there's a great neighborhood. I mean, if you've got neighbors we have a neighbor behind us who gives us avocados and tangelos. We've got, we have apricots across the street from us, and it's like, oh my God, this is like, you don't have to go shopping.
It's the luxury of living in Southern California, folks.
Yes,
we're living the dream.
You don't have. I know you don't have to go visit a farmer's market. Just go ask your neighbor. Hey, are you done with those oranges? Yeah. So anyway, folks, that's our take on Sergio Revell. If you've had it and you know what pricing is, let us know what it is, because leave us a comment down below if you're watching us on YouTube. If you're listening to us on the podcast, hey, download it anywhere where you get your iTunes or Spotify. Be careful again. The cork does seem to the knob seems to come off the cork on some of these, and it's going to happen. But other than that, don't lose the juice. This is really great stuff. I'm very, very impressed. I'm really glad that it was that I was impressed as I was. But that's our take. I'm Mike Morales here, sitting in the purple of San Gabriel Valley of Southern California. That guy out there is
Rick Levy in the San Pasqual Valley.
You've been watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media. All of our channels and networks, please subscribe to us. If you don't mind my purpleness. And hey, whatever you do, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely.